Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Sunday meditation service. Thank you for joining me. My name is Valerie Data, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at the center. It's my honor to bring you meditation today. And this is entitled Embrace a Heart of Peace. It's written by Khadija Mitchell of Journey into Your Soul. So now let's go ahead and find that comfortable space. And when you're ready, close your eyes, gently shifting your awareness inside, beginning to connect in with your body, and beginning to drop into your inner world. Gently begin deepening your breath. With each breath, inviting your body to relax, inviting your mind to slow, and allowing yourself to become present where you are, not needing to be anywhere else but here. And as you invite your breath to be a little deeper and a little slower, allow this breath to help relax you and bring your presence into your true nature. And with your next breath, gently drift your awareness into your sacred heart space in the center of your chest. Breathing more deeply and slowing into your heart, allowing the body to continue to relax and the mind to slow. And as you're present in your heart, see if you can just allow yourself to feel the natural presence of peace that arises from within. Allowing yourself to step out of the way and be present with your heart. Present with this natural state of peace. You don't have to look for it. Simply allow it to be. With each breath, see if you can drop more deeply into this energy of peace, of harmony. With each breath, really allowing yourself to feel peace, to experience peace. Still breathing deep, still breathing slow with intention. Begin sending this peace into all the particles and cells that make up your body and personal field. Feel as the area around you becomes calmer, more harmonized to the energy of peace. With the next breath, with intention, begin sending this energy of peace out in the field beyond your body, pulsing this energy out into the collective heart, helping to lift up the vibration of peace in the quantum collective. Present with your heart, present with your breath, intentionally pulsing the vibration for peace out into the collective heart, helping to bring greater harmony and balance to the collective field of all. With the next breath in, take a moment to thank your precious heart for the way it showed up for you today and each day, for the ways in which it brings you back to who you truly are. And now begin bringing gentle movement back into the fingers and toes, and drift in your awareness back into the room and space that holds you. And when you're ready, blinking your eyes open, return to this precious moment in present time. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, and you're welcome to sit in the sanctuary or join us back at 10:30 when celebration begins. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, I see one of my favorite people in the back there. Hi, Hal. You too, Monica. Anyway, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. We know who you truly are, and we're here to celebrate your spiritual magnificence. And Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy. We recognize the truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. For more information about the Science of Mind philosophy, you can visit our information table right over there in the back, or visit our website at cslcapecoral.org. And we always like to start out with the Big Love Band, so let's give them a hand.
Good morning. Well, look at this. God showed up today. Oh my. Well, stand. You should know this song by now and get your blood flowing this morning.
That's right. It's up to each and every one of us. So now, you guys are so good. We have you trained, right? So stand if you're not already standing, unless you can't. And we're going to rub our hands together, get the energy flowing, and turn to each other and say, "Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center." Woo. Yeah, that's like a nice crowd out there. So speaking of nice crowds, after service, we are going to take a group picture, and some of us are going to be holding letters saying welcome, okay? And that's going to be for our new minister profile, our profile that we're sending out to our new minister. So if you could please stay for just a little bit afterwards, and we get that done. And I'd like to thank Valerie Data for holding high watch today. This means that she is holding and maintaining the highest consciousness for our service through meditation, for our teams, everyone present, and everyone online also. So know that you are being held in wonderful consciousness. And for us to attract our new minister, we must become that which we desire. So please join in repeating our community affirmation. We are a loving and heart-centered community. We are dynamic and charismatic, steeped in the science of mind. We are all visionaries, inspired and motivated into action, doing so with joy, laughter, and fun and humor. And so it is, yeah. And that brings us to our new vision statement, so please join in this for our new minister. Our new minister is loving and heart-centered. They are a dynamic and charismatic speaker who is steeped in science of mind. As a visionary, they inspire the community, motivating us into action, doing so with joy, laughter, fun, and humor. And so it is. So with that, after service also, if anyone would like to do testimony, Melissa Tuffmel over here is going to be taking some videos for part of the video presentation, kind of like our resume. So we'd like to have people step up and give a little testimonial about what the center here has done for them. And we're back to the Big Love Band.
Go see him.
Instrument of peace. Let me hear you sing that. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is
Yes, make me an instrument of peace. Well, coming up, like a little less than a month, trunk or treat. Trunk or treat. Who likes trunk or treat? I do. I do. Candy and toys and all kinds of things. So anyone looking and desiring to go and set up their trunk and dress up your trunk and dress yourself up and go out there and park and have fun, you can see Dawn. Correct, Dawn? There's a sign up in the back. All right. And then, so there's also a box for donations for you folks that don't have a sense of fun, I guess, adventure, I don't know. But anyhow, or just too darn busy, you can put donations in the box in the lobby. Yeah, no judgment zone here, right? And at this time, the youth are free to leave us folks and go have some adventure themselves right now. So, and then immediately following trunk or treat is the spooktacular soiree. And that's from 6 to 9. There's going to be food, costumes, dress up in costumes. I think we still have a bag of costumes in the back. If you don't have a costume, we have costumes, believe me. I myself have a lot of costumes, but you'd have to be my size, so, Anyhow, so tickets are $30 in advance, $35 at the door, and there's chance auctions, 50-50 raffle. And if you want to go out and solicit or ask for donations, you can see Mel. We got some packets going together, and we have the all you need to go and knock on some doors and meet some new people. Yeah. And in order to honor the sacred time and space of our meditation on Sunday, as of next Sunday, there will be no admittance to the sanctuary after 9:55 a.m. And there's no chewing gum either. So just to be mindful of everyone. And Patty asked that we get together tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Anyone that can, just come out and pick up some branches, etc. I think I'm going to get my little picker-upper things and see what I can do.
If somebody wants to come later for service, they're allowed to come then.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure.
No, we won't keep you out of service. It's just for the meditation. I know I usually sit in the back, and it is kind of distracting to have people coming in and out. And today, after service, noon to 1:30 p.m., I was hoping that April would be here, we have the Courage to Create Play Shop, and that's just working through our, I guess, I don't know. I was hoping she could talk a little bit more about it. She calls it the Alice Way. So it's like collage and card making and different things like that. So I encourage you to stay, support the center and the activities. And we do have a lot of activities coming up. So you guys are probably going to get tired of hearing me today. So, but too bad. And we have the Big Love Band again. I know you never get tired of hearing them.
We are the ones that
change the world. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are. I am the one that I've been waiting for. I am the one who will make a difference. I am the one who will change the world. I am the one. I am the one. I am. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are. You are the one. You are. You are the one. You are. I am the one. I am. Let's take it home. I am. We are the ones. We are.
Beautiful. We are the ones. And now, for my special friend, Linda Lloyd, is coming up to give us today's reading. So welcome, Linda.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Isn't this the greatest place ever? I always like to say, we're giving Disney World a little competition for the happiest place on earth. So my name is Linda Lloyd. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at Centers for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. And it is my great honor and pleasure to present you with a reading today. This month of September, our theme from home office, our yearly theme is It's a Grand Rising. I love this theme. And the monthly theme is Pieces into Peace. And today's topic is putting the pieces all together, because we got 5 weeks in this month. So Reverend Chris is going to be wrapping up this really wonderful peace stuff. It was so great that when I discovered that I was doing the reading today, because I love this topic of peace. And I will never forget when I was listening one day to Reverend Julie Moret, and she was talking about the peace that surpasses all human understanding, and her epiphany of when she found it. And I checked in, and I knew I had it too. And the thrill about that when you find that is, and you discover that, and I'm going to put a plug for meditation in, is that you can go back to it any time, any place, any situation. You can just drop in and find that place. And it really does help make everything better. So today's reading is from this beautiful book, The Miracle Minute by Mary Morrissey. It is so cool. I've been doing A Course in Miracles, and I am discovering so many of my favorite teachers have all done the Course in Miracles. And I'm sure Mary Morrissey has too, by the meditations that are in here. It's very Course in Miracle flavored. So this is on page 44, and the title is Anchoring Peace. Mahatma Gandhi said, "My religion is truth. My practice is non-cooperation with evil." Gandhi came from a practice which increased soul force, or ahimsa, and satyagraha, I think that's how you say that, is what he called the practice of non-violence, which he said was much more powerful than any force or power that came from the world. So you and I have the opportunity to anchor peace to our world right here, right where we are. We can bring that about today. We can bring about the peace that we long for our world, for our families, for ourselves, by taking on his practice. My religion is truth. I love that statement. Religion means to bind. So let us bind ourselves to the truth this day. And notice if we cannot stay absolutely, pristinely adhered to whatever is true in the moment. Speak from that and know that. As we do that, simply choose not to cooperate with anything less than that. And from there, we live our lives in love and offer that to the world. Isn't that wonderful? It's something that we can actively do. So let us turn within, closing the outer eye, opening our inner eye, and bringing to mind at this time someone, something, some person, some situation that we would like to bring into the light. And just bringing up that name, that situation, as we all allow our consciousness to bring light to that person, that place, that situation, for these next precious moments together. And how good it is to come together, to remember, to honor, to celebrate this one benevolent presence that is everywhere, that is that very breath that breathes me, that is the very beating of my heart, that is the very air that I breathe, and all the elements that are here to bring us life and this experience here on earth. Just recognizing this presence in and as and through all things. And as I know this to be so, I know that the presence of love, of peace, of beauty, of joy, that it resides in all things, all places, all spaces, as I absolutely know there is not a spot where God is not. So I'm just knowing that those that we hold in the light today feel our light, feel our love. And that we broadcast this out into the world, this peace that we are here now, that peace that surpasses all understanding, knowing that its home is within us, each and every one. And as we find that place, that space of peace, and anchor it in our lives and in our hearts, that we are peacemakers in this world, that ripples out into our communities, to our families, to our friends, across the world. We have made a difference by gathering here today. And for this and so much more, I am indeed eternally grateful as I release this word into law, knowing it is already done. And together we can anchor this in gratitude by saying, and so it is. And it is my great honor and pleasure to welcome in person this week up to the stage Reverend Chris, who's going to bring together all the peace topics for this month. Give him a warm welcome.
That's the plan. Thank you, Linda. Grand Rising, everybody. And I have to say today, there's been like at least 20 times this morning that somebody has given me a smile that, like, my heart is overflowing right now. It's just so wonderful to be here in person. You know, I love this center, I love this building, I love the grounds, but it's the people, it's the smiles. Like, we have a great group of people here. So thank you, everybody. I just love to be here. Okay, this first one here, real quickly, I'm just going to talk about our guest speaker and workshop that's going to be coming up on October 20th. It's Reverend Anthony Suarez, goes by Tony, and he's also an attorney, retiring, but he was also a state legislator here in Florida for a while. He's been a Democrat and a Republican. He's all over the place. I love the guy, and he wrote a book called What's Law Got to Do with It? And he talks a little bit about how laws are formed and why, and how it relates to like religious freedom. So it'll be an interesting talk, and then a workshop focused on his book following right afterwards. So just want to put that out there for everybody because it's coming up in about 3 weeks. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to talk about just briefly, and just everybody take a breath in a little bit. You know, with Hurricane Helene, it could be stirring up a lot of stuff. And it's just, for me, it's a reminder. There's always stuff stirred up out in the world. But seeing, like what happened this weekend, I finally, this morning, heard back from 2 friends that live in Asheville. So it's good to hear that they're all right. I know there's, a lot of people that aren't. But for me, it's just a reminder to bring it up, to just hold a little closer, love a little tighter, be a little kinder to yourself and to others around you. And, it's us, it's people. This is what's important, and, it's can be fleeting. So thank you, everybody, for being here. And that being said, pieces into peace. So it's putting the pieces together, and you'll notice how pieces is spelled. It's P-E-A-C-E-S, the pieces together. So how many people, I want to see a show of hands, who has ever done a jigsaw puzzle? I think that's everybody. And so, like, how is that feeling? Like when you've been working on it, maybe you're like hunkered in with people, or maybe you're at the Airbnb at the beach, and you get to that place where the last piece, and you slide it in and just, it's such a sense of satisfaction to put that piece in there. But like speaking of like the Airbnb at the beach, maybe you pulled out a puzzle that somebody's done before, and you're building it, and it's fun, everybody's involved, and you get down, there's the last piece on the table, and you're like, yeah, put it in, and but wait a minute, there's still a hole right there. No, where's the piece? Of course, the science of mind in me tells me that it's okay that piece isn't there. The reward was in the process. But sometimes, it's hard to forget, especially when that piece, man, I've had that happen, and I've grown since then, so that's good. I'm not like throwing the table anymore, so that's good. It's growth. It's growth. But I bring that analogy because all month long, so like in the week 1, we talked about, finding our inner peace. Creating that place that, like Linda talked about, where we can just drop into it when we need it, when we need a respite from the world, we can be in that place. And then the following week was talking about how do we create peace with our individual interactions, one-on-ones. And then we took the next week into how do we incorporate that into our communities to make peaceful communities that also contribute to the next week, which is global peace and collective peace and harmony. They all tie together, all of them. So when I'm working on my inner peace, if I am currently like in a toxic job situation, that's going to weigh on my meditation practice a little bit. It's going to make it a little more challenging. And then in the same way with like my one-on-one interactions with individuals, if I'm not feeling inner peace for myself, if there's inner tension, it's going to affect my patience level, my overall demeanor. Everything reflects back. It's kind of like the spider web. You tug on one little strand, the whole thing kind of wiggles a little bit. And so that's what we're talking about here, like putting those pieces together, kind of like that puzzle. If we want to experience more peace in our life, we got to pay attention to all these different areas of peace in our lives and let that bleed over into one another, and just making that practice in that peace. So the idea of global peace it's a wonderful aspiration, and there's been people that have been in this pursuit for I think as long as human beings have clubs that they use to hit each other when they needed to take something that they wanted. And so I think as long as that is, there's been people that have intended to make that peace. But there was a quote from Ernest Holmes last week that said, peace isn't somebody else's job. There is something that we can do, tangible, right now, individually. And that's taking care of our own inner peace and recognizing that interconnection and how we bring ourselves to interact with one another, how we bring ourselves to set that intention. I think that's a big part of why Center for Spiritual Living people, Science of Mind people, New Thought people, Unity people, they really touch my heart because there's intention. If you're here and you're listening, there's intention. You're seeking something bigger than yourselves, something within. And so, like the Karen Drucker song, we really are. We are the ones that we've been looking for. We want peace. And I know personally, most of my life, I saw it as, well, we can't have it because that person's in control. We can't do it because of that person. And we're giving all of our power away, and we're all just kind of can end up being on default and kind of bouncing off one another and just like waiting anxiously, white-knuckling for that peace. Where's that peace? But it's up to us. We are the only ones that can do it, and it starts from within. So back along the lines of where I kind of opened up with, around Hurricane Helene and the other stuff in the world, because at any given time there's people that are hurting, people that are struggling, and I just by statistics and probability, I'm sure there's a couple people in this room that are hurting right now. We are all we have. We have each other. We're limited. We have a limited time on this planet. How do we lean into what's most important? What do we want to see? Sometimes when we have, natural disasters, that's our reminder, oh, that thing I was worried about yesterday, it doesn't mean a single thing today. And I was in a tizzy. I was all worked up. And something can happen. And in a moment, we're reminded, there's a friend. That's important. So then how do we take it into the world? Reverend Emil Govro spoke here a couple weeks ago, and something that he said that just really resonated with me is that peace is more than just the absence of war. It's more than that. Of course, in peace, war and anger don't exist, but conflict can still exist. But we can manage conflict peacefully when we choose and when we have that intention. So for me, peace is something that's cultivated. Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite teachers, he said, if we want peace, we need to be peace. Peace is a practice, it's not a hope. It's a gradual thing. Every time, showing up today, especially if you're hurting and you showed up today, that's strength. That's power, that's courage, that's vulnerability. I commend you. But showing up, that's part of a practice. When you wake up in the morning and you remember, oh, I'm going to think about peace for just a couple minutes before I get out of bed, because I forgot that I wanted to create more peace. Well, this is how we do it. We do it, little steps. The global theme, she brought up the Karen Drucker song in the theme, and then there was also a Bob Sima song that we are the movers and the shakers and the peacemakers. And in the song at the very end, there's a recording of a peace pilgrim who I've mentioned here before. She was the woman that, I think it was in the 70s, just went walking for peace, and she walked for 30 years. Yeah, it was something crazy. And she's talking, and she's like, it's a big act for one person, and I can see it's spreading the idea of peace. So one person with a big act can do a significant thing for peace. But many people with little acts of intentional peace can create huge movements of peace. That's our power. What do we want to create for the world? What do we want to see? What do I want to see for my children? Changes everything for me. So peace is cultivated. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about is how do we take it out into the world? We're all here, and we're doing our individual work, and we're creating and intending to have more inner peace within. And then where the power can really come in is how do we take it out in the world? So I thought I would share a story that just about a person that I really enjoy. I love what he's doing. Interestingly enough, we had talks, and he's very atheistic. He's an atheist, and he's like, I'd like to believe, but I just can't. My rational mind can't. But it doesn't matter, because he's doing the work in the world. So what I want to talk about is like when people wake up and people start having that inner peace and wanting to see it, sow it, and be it, people in positions of power, people in positions of service, when you bring this into your other areas of your life, that's the power to change. So I worked at a restaurant in Cleveland, almost the full 4 years that I was there. And the manager that hired me, I found out when I was looking for another place to work, because I found a different job first. And I saw that this guy had just moved to this restaurant that I was interested in, and he'd been there as the general manager a couple months. I went in, the interview, I think we talked for like over an hour. And waited a week, got the job, and I worked there for 4 years. This place, by the time I left, I loved every single person there. Every single person. So, it was great food, great, celebrity chef owner, great kitchen crew, like back of the house people were nice, which is pretty rare in a restaurant. And front of the house people, like we had a great crew of people that we respected one another, we helped one another. Like, we'd have to show up at 4:30. Like, people would get there at 4:15 just to see the smiles on our coworkers. Like, people would genuinely get excited, like, hey, I'm working with you tonight again. All right, let's do it. Let's go make some coffee or whatever. But it was such a pleasant environment. And when I was getting ready to move to Connecticut, I went to my boss, and I was like, I just got to commend you on like this situation, like your team that you put together here. And he's like, yeah. Like, I thank you for noticing. He's like, it wasn't an accident. He's like, I remember when I interviewed you and we talked. He's like, I just could tell from the conversation we had that you were a pretty good dude. You would be good here. When I came on, like I said, he was new. He'd only been there a couple months, and there was people that had been there for years. And I remember one guy that worked there that came before I did, before he was part of the cultivation process. And we're back cutting bread, and he kind of like being funny, like kind of tells me, like, I'd like to make them like really big pieces. That way the people have to double dip. I'd like to make them double dip. I'm like, so you're like intentionally kind of sabotaging your guests. Is that what you're saying? Like these are the people that we're here to serve. And you're making it a point to like make it harder on them. I don't get that. And throughout the time that I was there, a lot of the people that there was some people that worked there that as the vibe kind of changed, they rolled with it. There was one person that when they started was a pretty angry person. By the time I left, they were a different person. They were peace. But some of the other people, like instead of resonance, it's a dissonance. And over, like probably about a year and a half, they just kind of found their ways out. The person that enjoyed watching people have to double dip and gross each other out or whatever, he had an accident, and he had to step out of the job for a little while. And he came back, like 6 weeks later, he came back. He's like, hey, can I come back on now? And Todd's like, sorry, we don't need you. We had to fill it. And we just don't need anybody else. And, tried again and just realized like he wasn't coming back in. And life has a way of doing that. We tend to gravitate towards who we are with. And sometimes we can get stuck with people that maybe aren't in our best interest, aren't best for us. And it's okay to recognize when that is. And we could move on. Sometimes people will stay, in abusive relationships out of a sense of obligation. I owe them. Maybe it's, a parent or a significant other or whatever. I owe it to them. You don't owe your peace to anybody. Your peace is to me, it's my most sacred thing. And I don't want to do anything that gives that away to another individual. And it took me a long time in life to kind of realize that. But we have that power. We have that choice. So Ernest Holmes says, we must practice the presence of peace consciously, definitely, and deliberately. If we can do it individually and in the family, and to a certain degree in our offices and businesses, which we can, why can't we do it for the whole world? And again, it's one step at a time, one person at a time. Now, I wanted to use one other, and I'm kind of like in the personal zone today, but one other personal example of that idea of peace being more than just the absence of war. I didn't learn until after I left my partying lifestyle behind. Most of you know my story. I had never learned conflict resolution until I was like 37. So I would get, in a disagreement with a significant other or something, and I might just leave. I might scream. I might do the silent treatment for 3 days. I did that. But once I learned, we have tools. We have a mouth. We can communicate. Oh, that's powerful. When I finally, figured out there's other ways to communicate other than, punching a wall to show that I'm angry. It's this is brilliant. And so, but where I'm going with this, my spouse and I, we, at some point, we've made that intention. We want a peaceful relationship. We had to make a decision. Are we staying together? What are we doing? Are we going to work this out? This is, back in 2008, all around the time when we decided to shift our lives. And so we've got that intention. But does that mean that there's no conflict in our house? It does not mean that. There's conflict. Things come up. We've got children. She and I, my spouse and I, we each get busy, we get tired, we get frustrated, and conflict occurs. And sometimes we say something that we don't mean. Sometimes, I hate to admit it, I'll slam a door sometimes. I'm working on that. I've had one since I've been back to Colorado, and the wind going through the house helped, and so I was really it really slammed. And so that was my wake-up call. I'm not being peace, but I want to be peace. And so just by making that intention, when the conflict arises, by having that intention to create the peace, I can talk differently. I can, remove myself from a situation. I need a minute to cool down. I can then, think and process. And then when I come back together, when sometimes the other person or people, they might need the time too. And so when everybody is in agreement, hey, let's come together. How do we talk about what happened? I'm sorry, I didn't mean that thing that I said. And I was upset about this thing that happened. My reaction wasn't great, but how do we resolve this? It's and I say this, I've got a long ways to go. I am a long ways away from perfect. And that's okay, because we know perfect is not real. It's more of a direction that we head. And so that's what I really want to talk about. That's what I want to leave you with today, is that idea of cultivating peace. And it's one thought at a time. And it's one action or intentional conversation with another that truly creates peace. But it's really hard to do, especially like for me when I didn't have the skills before that, when I didn't even know that there were skills for improving your interpersonal relations. Like, it seems pretty obvious now, but I didn't know it back then. And so that cultivation is just one thing at a time. And then, like Peace Pilgrim said, many people doing many acts can have a huge impact. So that, for me, it takes off some of that pressure. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to always be peace. I would like to be, but I know that I'm probably going to fail if I try to do it 100% of the time. But that's how it works, and that's how I can hold up space for you when you're not in your best situation, and then you'll be there for me when it's my turn to process, because that's life. It's an ebb and flow, inevitable. We're always going to ebb and flow, and that's a beautiful thing because that's what keeps us growing, expanding, asking questions, asking what can be better, what can we do together. So learning to ask for what we want. I'm going to finish with one other thing after we'll do our spiritual principles and practices. So our spiritual principle that I wanted to talk about this week is the law of attraction. And we become that which we think about most persistently. So the law of attraction. If you want to be peace, you want to experience peace, you have to think peace and set that intention. And when you forget and when you get hung up on those conflicts, you bring it back to peace. And all of these things, like I know what's worked for me may not work for you. And that's the beauty of the universe. So, but what I have learned when I look at other teachers and things that they say, a lot of times I'll be like, I kind of get where you're going, I don't resonate with that. But if I take that and kind of see it like this, like even if something doesn't resonate, I can still find something that can twist it a little bit. So I hope that wherever you're at, when you listen to me yammer on, that don't just take what I say and say that has to work for you and then feel frustrated if it doesn't. Because we have many tools. Every week we have a new tool. And so again, it's just that process, little steps, picking out the things that work for you. And as you think about it, it causes you to act in a way that brings it to you. It also creates like weird, magical coincidences that things just show up. It's pretty powerful. So that's our spiritual principle to focus on this week. What am I doing? Okay. Our spiritual principle to think of the week by cultivating what we want to see in the world. We're the only ones that can create peace for ourselves. And so that's our practice this week is to, if you're in alignment with it, to practice, think, and cultivate that peace. And our affirmation, if I will read it once and then we can all read it together. I am the peace I see in the world. I am the peace that I see in the world. And let's do it one more time. I am the peace I see in the world. And once we see it in here, we start to see it out there. So what I wanted to finish on is, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but it seems like we're kind of living in crazy times. Okay, I'm not the only one. Okay, that's good. It's good. Yeah, it's a wild world out there right now. There's, political divisions off the charts. There's some crazy wars and skirmishes going on. And this now is like I'm dropping into reminding myself what I need to do this week. It's the doom scrolling. I gotta let go of the doom scrolling. That's where, you open up your news feed and you gotta see the latest development because there's a lot going on out there. And I want to know that I'm going to be safe. I want to know that everything's going to be okay. And so I have to go look for that next piece of news to know that things are better. For me, I'm pulling away from looking at the news over and over. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling fearful, pay attention to how much time you're watching news. especially if you're watching like one individual source of news and that's it, and it just keeps playing through on a loop. It's not healthy for me. I know. Yin and yang, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with being informed. I'm an advocate for being informed. But sometimes I over-inform myself. And I over-inform myself on opinions of others. And back in alignment with that peace. If I want to be inner peace, when I'm looking at that news, when I'm looking at these opinions, holding thoughts of animosity towards another, I'm not being peace. And I'm not peaceful. And I'm anxious. And then I'm grumpy, and I'm irritable. That's where I'm at. So I want to just encourage us all to be soft and gentle with yourselves. Be loving and kind to those around you. And like the Gary Lynn Floyd song, where there is hatred, I'll bring love. Where there is darkness, I'll be the light, I'll shine. I missed the middle one.
Sadness and joy. Sadness and joy.
Where there is sadness, I will be joy. It's letting go of the knee-jerk responses. When something triggers me and something upsets me, and my mind's like, that idiot, that jerk, or what, that's not the energy I want. And that's why they're there, to remind me of what energy I do want. So that person's actually helping me. So if you're with me, let's start cultivating more and more peace. So we'll take that within and just recognize that there is one infinite source of all life, of all love, of all presence, of all peace. And as I breathe, it reminds me that breath is life, life is spirit, and spirit is love with a capital L. So I know that at the core of everyone's being, all that matters is that love. And so as I remind myself that peace is available at any given moment, that I can step outside of this physical world, retreat within, and remind myself what's important to me, why those I love are important to me, and why I see the divine love and light in every individual, especially those that I find disagreement with. As I soften my approach and my estimation of others, I'm reminded of their humanity, so I can be inspired to create more peace and more harmony, if only in my thoughts. May my actions follow suit. May that love and light inspire each and every person that hears these words, as I acknowledge that there's only the one infinite mind, the one infinite light that inspires each and every person. So I give thanks for all those on this planet who are seeking and intending, creating a more peaceful earth. I say thank you for everybody who's going within and discovering more about themselves, about their higher selves, about their presence. I give thanks for everybody out in the world who's giving a helping hand for those that are in need at this moment. I give thanks for all those who are choosing peace instead of violence. Those who are reminding one another of the good that's within each of us. So I affirm and avow that right now that love, that light carries each of us as we go about our weeks, inspiring us to greater and greater moments of peace, love, compassion, and understanding. So with one final expression of thank you, Spirit, I just release these words knowing that we are creating a more and more harmonious and peaceful planet with every thought that we have. And I affirm that that is so by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. So just finishing with one last quote from the Dalai Lama, His Holiness. Do not let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so this is our time to announce our Volunteer of the Month. And so this person was one of the first people I met when I came here. And somebody said, this is so-and-so, and they're not on the teams necessarily, but when you need help, this is the person to come to. This is the person that always says yes and always is there to offer a hand and is here for pretty much most of the events. And so it's a great blessing to our center to honor Tim Sauls. Thank you. Nice. You want to stand up so everybody can see you? Thanks, Tim. Thanks. Tim's the man. Like I said, he's always here, always there to help break down whatever. And he also comes in here once a week to get the garbage out for us. Tim, we love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. And what? Oh, okay. Brings the iced tea for potluck. Excellent. Tea's good. Thanks for the tea, too. Okay. And then one other thing that we're starting to do a little more occasionally here is sharing testimonials of what Science of Mind or what this center has meant for you, what it's helped you cultivate in your life. And if your life has been changed in some way by the Science of Mind philosophy, talk to myself or talk to any of the board members or the practitioners, and we'll give you a chance to come share your well-being with the crowd as well. And today, we'd like to invite Phyllis to come up, who has a testimonial for us. Not sure where you want to come up.
I've got my own pieces to piece.
Can we get a microphone on you? Do you want me to? Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I've got my own pieces to piece. So some of you know, like a few years ago, I had a big issue with the IRS. And so this lasted over several years because it was during COVID and everyone was at home. I've got a big shout out to John B. Waterhouse, a Science of Mind teacher and author, and just took a wonderful class in the Science of Mind principles. Before that, I did know the Science of Mind principles, and I said, okay, here's my opportunity. So over a period of 3 years, of course, I consulted my accountant and my financial advisor. They said, do not, because although I had paid my taxes correctly, it was misinterpreted by, or not even read maybe, by someone who, or computer, who assumed, yeah. So I, did the consultations, and they said, do not pay, because I was continually getting bills from the IRS, which finally amounted to $88,000. So I spoke with countless agents over that time, all working from home. And the point is that during this whole process, I practiced. I am peace. I had, I would say, cordial conversations with agents. Yeah, and I knew that eventually it would be reconciled. And finally it was. And I said, okay, there's my demonstration. Just recently, this past tax filing, so I didn't get my refund. And so it came to be, I think, the middle of August, and I consulted with my accountant, and I said, I'm going to call. And he said, okay, so I called. Well, the first call took a couple hours because I was transferred, But the second time I called, just the second time I called, I got this wonderful person who said, I'm going to look into this right now. And she did. And she said, the reason that you didn't get the refund is because they found, and I don't know the explanation to this, but I'm due extra money. So I thanked her so much, and in about another 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be getting my refund. So thank you, Science of Mind. Thank you for the principles, and thank you, Reverend Chris, for all you do here, too. And that's it.
The stuff works. It really works. That's why I return all the way again and again and again. You start cultivating peace, you start to see peace. All right, so this is also where we give you the opportunity to help support the center, to help support the philosophy, and make us here for the next 50 years, contributing time, talent, treasure. We have our wonderful hostesses today who will be sending around baskets. We have the text to support line. We have PayPal at cslcapecoral.org. A donate button on our website. It's very easy. You can always mail us a check. And the baskets will be coming around if you have prayer requests. Prayer requests, we believe in the power of prayer because it all begins in mind. And so things happen when we start to do that. So if you'll take your offering in your mind and your heart and then share with me this affirmation, we say, today I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. Thank you. So it is.
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good. Standing as one in your presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good.
Our wonderful volunteers, knowing that everything is lifted up and blessed. May that love reciprocate throughout the entire universe and each and every individual here and online. We love you all, and so it is. All right. Do you want to finish it up? Or? Okay. Yeah. Thanks, B. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Reverend Chris, thank you. Always wonderful. And Tuesday, which is the first of the month, Patty Carney is doing the distance Reiki session from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And you can go to our website to register if you like. The CSL Cape Coral, right here, is accepting applications for office manager. Please see me I'm B. Dore, for an application. If you're interested, all applications must be received by noon, Monday, October 14th, this year. And next weekend, Friday, October 4th, 7 to 9 p.m., Doreen Conaway, QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, is doing a past life regression workshop, and that's really interesting. So I invite you guys to come out and join us for that. The cost is $45. And we probably have another one or two And then the following day, Saturday, the 5th, from 11 to 1:30 p.m., is a book signing. It's a free event. They do ask for you to register, and you can go to our website also, and it's linked. So you can go to our website, cslcapecoral.org, and you can register. I think they're going to have snacks and stuff, and they'd like to have an idea of how many people will be attending. So I encourage you, if you're going to come to the free book signing event, please register. And miracles, which happen every day. Every day they happen. So don't let your 1-minute miracle get away from you. Our practitioners will be up front here to pray with you. So if you have anything heavy on your heart, just come up and they'll pray, and they're mighty prayer warriors. And any questions, again, the information table's in the back, and someone will be back there to answer. And with that, we want to thank you. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad that Helene didn't come and visit us, because I know a lot of people still haven't recovered from Ian, so I still see blue tarps on roofs. And come on up front here, and we're going to get some pictures. Pam's got some letters. And yeah, let's get going. So we got to do some things around here to bringing in our new minister. I think if we have everybody, it's going to have to be up here.
Let's get them singing. Here we go.